What struck me most when reading Pope Leo's and the Vatican's new encyclical Magnifica Humanitas was how similar it is to my own work on the topic of technology versus humanity. How deeply aligned it is. I started working on digital ethics and technology humanity about 10 years ago, and it's been a long road. And now I read this and I'm like, wow, it's just so true. Of course, I'm not Catholic, I'm not religious, but maybe this will move the needle a little bit. I found myself underlining sentence after sentence when reading the encyclical, saying, yes, exactly, finally, really, and like this. For years I've been saying that the greatest danger of AI is not that machines become human, but that humans become like machines. And now it's actually, sadly, kind of both, that machines become kind of like humans and that we become like machines. Pope Leo says something very similar when he warns about reducing the human person to mere data or a cog in an optimized system. It's really interesting when he talks about what we are as what I call androrithms. We are desire, not algorithms. I say we are androrithms, not algorithms, and he says we are desire. It's just so similar. We're now building systems that optimize everything: efficiency, speed, prediction, productivity, engagement, love, feelings. And now, slowly, almost invisibly, we begin to optimize ourselves in the same way. So putting out content that's run by AI, 40% of a lot of content, even podcasts, is now done by AI. I use AI in my own work. We start measuring human worth through kind of metrics and followers and clicks and performance, such as the YouTube algorithm. If it can be measured, it matters. But no, humans cannot be measured and they matter. Algorithms are different than androrithms, and humans aren't machines. Organisms are not algorithms. We're not code. This is a big discussion. Of course, the very same reason why many people in Silicon Valley will look at this message from Rome and say, yes, of course, but we know that humans are essentially just like machines, same thing, right? Just fancy machines. But Pope Leo's statement is so powerful. We are a desire, not an algorithm. That is the core message, and it smashes everything. That's also why he calls for the disarmament of AI. The line stopped me cold because desire is fundamentally human. Desire means longing, wonder, ambiguity, imagination, hope, intuition. And algorithm predicts facts, logic, patterns. Something else that I think about is absolutely crucial. Technology is never neutral. It takes on the characteristics of those who devise, finance, regulate, and use it. Well, that is a key message. And right now, what are we doing? We're using AI to build things like self-controlling weapons. And now warfare is switching to drones, and most of the drones are controlled by AI. Where is this going? Technology reflects human intention, which means AI will amplify not only our intelligence and our good meaning, our good future maybe, but also our greed, our biases, our obsessions, and our hunger for control. And today we're already seeing this everywhere. The Pope calls it technocratic paradigm. Essentially, what we're seeing here is a hunger for power. Look at OpenAI. Look what's happening with the IPOs that are coming up with Tesla and SpaceX and Anthropic. Also, a world where efficiency becomes the highest value, where everything is reduced to be optimized, where humanity itself becomes secondary. That is the core issue of tech versus human, as I called it for the last decade. And recently, I've been talking a lot about the good future, how we can make that happen. This isn't the good future, it's the bad future. We use a tool to become God. I'm not anti-technology, far from it. I believe AI can help us cure diseases, indeed, fight climate change, improve education, but it must remain a tool and not become a religion. Right now, it is a religion and a substitute for human judgment. Pope Leo makes another profound point when he said that AI systems do not know from within. Well, there's no within there, right? What love, work, friendship, or responsibility means. That distinction matters enormously. AI can simulate empathy, it can simulate feeling, it can simulate love, it knows what a face looks like that loves and appreciates. It cannot care, it can generate poetry, but it doesn't make heartbreak, it can imitate wisdom, it cannot suffer. And suffering, as we know from Buddhism, is a very important point in human existence. It's part of what makes us human. Our limits matter. Our morality matters. Our imperfections matter. Our lies matter. Our errors matter. The transhumanists believe human limitations are defects to be eliminated, such as the effort to actually create content, having a challenge, growing through something. I profoundly disagree to doing away with effort so that AI makes everything effortless. And so does Pope Leo, because compassion emerges from fragility. Wisdom emerges from struggle. Meaning emerges from knowing that life is finite. This is not a bug against humanity. What if life is infinite? Do we still have meaning? That's a subject to another video. This is why I increasingly believe the future belongs not to those who become more like a machine, more transhumanist, more merged with the machine, but to those who become deeply human, more empathetic, more ethical, more conscious, more creative, more spiritual, more human only. The more powerful technology becomes, the more important being a human becomes. The encyclical of the Pope also warns about something I've discussed for years, the concentration of digital power. A handful of corporations now shape what billions of people see, believe, buy, desire, and even get to see in the first place. And as Pope Leo notes, these private companies and billionaires and leaders, parentheses like Sam Altman, increasingly possess more influence than governments themselves. There's something wrong with this. Who should be in charge of what our future is? Well, it should not be tech billionaires. They should have their voice, of course, but this is about our government, ourselves, our democracy. This is not a technology issue. It is a civilization issue. And AI is a civilizational threat issue. Who controls the algorithms? Who defines truth? Who owns the data? Who benefits from automation? And ultimately, what kind of people are we becoming? Because if we hand over too much agency to AI and then to AGI, artificial general intelligence, we risk creating a world that is perfectly optimized and otherwise totally empty, spiritually, socially, humanly empty, devoid of humanity. A world that has been thoroughly dehumanized. And that seems to be the goal of sometimes when you're looking at what Meta and Zuckerberg and Sam Altman and others are putting out. AI is going to take over all these things and then do what? What is our purpose? Look at their IPO filings. We're talking about trillions of dollars coming in through the IPO. This isn't right, and it shouldn't happen without consideration for the future of humanity. A world where convenience replaces wisdom, automation replaces responsibility, where prediction replaces imagination, perhaps most dangerously, where humanity itself is viewed as inefficient and unnecessary. I believe the opposite. I believe humanity is the point. And that's why I find Pope Leo's message so important, and I hope it spreads and causes significant trouble. Not because the church suddenly became technologically wise, but because it recognized something really essential. The future is not about becoming better machines. The future is about becoming better humans. And honestly, that may be the most important realization of our time. Thanks for listening. Good luck and good future.